So a lot of people ask me, Chris, why do you collect? What's your motivation behind it? What is your drive? Why do you keep doing this? And today I'm going to kind of get into that. This is just a little bit of um, it's kind of a raw video, kind of explain what it is and why it is I do what I do. So I guess to kind of start, it all goes back to when I was a kid. I didn't really, growing up, I didn't have a ton of friends. I had some. We all have our schoolmates and our buddies that we have in school, but as far as friends are concerned, I didn't have a ton of them. And art and comic books kind of became my way to escape. I made friends in the books, between the pages of the books. I saw things that I wanted to be, things I wanted to have. I saw characteristics that I wished I would have. And those things are kind of what got me into comics and art. I can remember some of the books that I read when I was a kid, and Punisher 2099, and most of you know that's my favorite book. But Punisher 2099 kind of became my favorite book, and funny enough, I never really read a lot of Punisher books when I was growing up. But I remember Punisher because he really wasn't this super powered person. He was a normal person just like us. And he had this motivation and drive behind him for heinous crime that was committed against him and his family. So I really picked up on the Punisher character and really liked him. Loved the fact that he wasn't necessarily a hero, but he wasn't a villain either. He did what was necessary to get it done. So I started getting into art, and it was my way to kind of put in and escape some of the everyday feelings and things that I went through. I had a supportive family. I still do have a supportive family. They've always been great backers in what I do, and I'm thankful for that. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I had an awful childhood, because I had a great childhood. When my parents could afford it, and we weren't rich, but when they could afford it, they would buy myself and my sister things that we wanted, and I remember getting a job when I was old enough to have a weekend job even, and I started working when I was 14, going on 15 years old. I had a weekend job where I would bag groceries on Saturday and Sunday, sometimes on Friday when I got out of school. And I would save my money up, and I would make car payments. And at the time, we had a little bookstore in our town in the mall. And you may have heard of it before. It's called Walden Books. And Walden Books was this place where I could go, and they had 2 comic racks in the very front of the store, and I would go and stare at the books and, pick some up and buy some, and it was just a good, fun time for me. I really didn't care about the value. I mean, when I was in high school, I remember buying Buffy the Vampire Slayer books and Star Wars books, and they were all places for me to kind of get away. But I would say my experiences as a teenager and as a young adult kind of they kind of put a wall up around me. I became a very big introvert. I didn't really socialize with a lot of people. I wasn't weird. I mean, as a matter of fact, people that knew me as a young adult and or a late teenager and early teenage years, they would tell you that I was nice. I was always kind to everybody. I never had any problems with anybody, but I became an introvert, and then I guess one night when I got off of work, some guys that I worked with had been harassing some people outside, and I guess according to them, I was guilty by association, even though I wasn't with them. So I'm getting in my car, and had this guy walk up to me. I had my window down. I didn't even know who he was, and I didn't see him, but he walked right up to my car, and he just drew back and just whopped me twice in the face. And, at 17 years old, I was mad, but I didn't get out of my car. I started my car up and I drove away as quick as I could because I didn't know what the heck was going on. And anyways, make a long story short, they found the guy, and they arrested him, and I had to identify him. And the guy told one of the arresting police officers that they were searching their car, and they found two handguns under the driver's seat and passenger seat. And pretty much the guy told the arresting officer, had I got out of the car, they were going to shoot me right there on the spot. Luckily, I didn't, and it just kind of put into a lot of effect of, just thoughts. So, fast forward a little bit, I went to college. In college, I loved my first 2 years. I hated the last 2 years of college, and I ended up graduating, got an art degree, an education degree, became an art teacher. I'd been told by a couple of people I'd never make it in the art world. I wasn't good enough. So comics were my inspiration, and people that had told me that I'd never do it were my inspiration. I used a lot of the drive behind that. And after college, I kind of submerged myself in the comic world, reading about gangly teenagers who got their powers and used their powers for the good of other people, and X-Men who were granted mutant powers or gifts or superpowers or however you want to put it when they were either born or by some kind of genetic mutation or whatever, and then I would read books about characters going to faraway planets and fighting a fight for people that were less or lesser, and that just really kind of spoke to me, and it put me in a world of ideas. And slowly and surely my obsession became buying books, and I fell in love with art and artists, more so of the comic variety. So when people ask me why I collect, I collect because it reminds me of who I am, where I'm at now, where I've come from. We put on these YouTube faces every day, but we all have ways of escape, and we all have things that even on camera that we hide, emotions that we hide. And the reason that I became a collector and the reason that I do YouTube is I've met some remarkable people through comics. I've met some of my closest friends through comics. I've met some people that I trust more than people I see physically every day doing comics. And the reason I collect is because of the brotherhood. Um, you know, I feel like some of the people that I communicate with every day are like brothers to me. I share things with them that I don't even share with people that I'm around in person every single day. So comics have always been an escape for me, an escape from this physical place around me. And I collect because it helps me to not only escape this physical place around me, but it helps me to be able to go outside of my comfort zone with YouTube and talk about comics and show up on people's live videos and laugh and cut up and talk. I'm still, every day is a struggle. I'm dealing with depression and anxiety, and just showing up and being present sometimes can even be just a struggle. I'm always afraid that I'm going to mess up, do something stupid and look like an idiot. I'm always afraid that I'm going to say or do something that kind of gets on somebody's nerves or gets under their skin, and they're going to dislike me. And I realize that people are going to dislike me anyways, so that's not really a big issue to me. But I collect because this is the life that I like to live. I like to live being happy. I like living to make other people happy. And comics have been a way for me to be happy. And I've been able to share that with my kids at school. And I've been able to share it with the people around me, like my wife. My wife has fell in love with some of the comics that I've done. So comics have played a key role in who I am today, and kind of the moral and ethical principles that I have. You know, I know that people laugh, but you know, I've picked up some of my code from people like Peter Parker, who, against all odds, seems to succeed, even though he gets knocked down time after time after time. Or people like Wolverine, who has severe anger issues but still does good. People like got Batman, who came from a childhood where his parents were murdered, that he turned his life around. So, I mean, comics have just been that kind of place for me. And I see kind of the better nature in people. I don't like toxicity. I don't like confrontation. So I always try to strive to make people smile. And you know, I don't know if people are gonna watch this video, and heck, I don't even know if I'm making sense, but I collect because collecting has been a life changer for me. I mean, I have an office full of books, some I'll never read, but to me, those pieces of paper are just, they're treasures from people just like me, who are introverted, who have had some kind of traumatic experience in life, and they're turning their downside into an up. And that's what I love to do. And I do art because my art, I hope, makes people happy. Seeing people's reactions when they pull out a book that I've done or a drawing that I've done, and they're like, wow, you know, that makes me happy. I think of DJ and Nick, who both got comics that I did, and, you know, watching their videos, I was just bubbly because they genuinely seemed happy from them. And their happiness in turn caused me happiness. So, I just wanted to take a few minutes to be kind of raw with you. I wanted to take a few minutes to be kind of transparent. If I've ever been short with any of you or have caused any of you any frustration, that's on me, and I'm man enough to say that I apologize for that. So, at any rate, that's a lot off of my chest. This video may get posted, it may not. If it does, then I hope that you enjoy this. But yeah, this is just me. So, so I hope you all have a great rest of the day. And I'm going to end this just exactly like I do every other time. Be a blessing to somebody today. You never know who needs to have that one positive thing said to them to turn their day around. And in turn, I hope that you're blessed. We'll see you later.